You know what I'm saying? We at a point where we're averaging about like a pod a month. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, this is for the love. This is episode 59, aka 59, and this is your boy Los, and I'm blessed to say you're welcome, and we're here. And you understand? You know, first off, I keep apologizing because part of me feel like the way I'm supposed to give y'all this work and this content isn't coming in the consistency that I'm wanting to. But you know what I'm saying? We giving it to y'all. So I just want to thank my supporters for being supporters. That's one. And then of course for y'all patience, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot to this shit. And you know what I'm saying? Something I want to get into. Let me take the bifocals off, you know what I'm saying? For niggas that don't know, yes, I am low-key blind, legally blind, you know what I'm saying? I have to wear glasses when I drive, but it also helps to see the vision clear, you know what I mean? But like I said, man, episode 59 for the love, you know what I'm saying? Thanks to all my supporters yet again. That's all my supporters from around the world because for the love is global, you understand? And that's, of course, for all my DSPs, my Apple supporters, my Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, of course, you know what I'm saying? Make sure everybody subscribes, like, follow, word of mouth, put it out there on your social medias, tell somebody, whatever you got to do. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and that's for the LUV podcast, and you will get all the content and exclusives, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, how I want to start this off, because recently we just passed Juneteenth weekend, which was also Father's Day weekend. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the good dads out there, you know what I'm saying? Good dad game. You know what I mean? And I say that to speak on something that has actually been a life change for me this current year of 2023. And being that it correlates to Father's Day, it goes to the fact that I have recently became a father. You get what I'm saying? So that was something that was impactful and is impactful going forward in my life, but that happened this current year. It is a life change that I am currently going through. And I'm witnessing in real life time the impact and the importance of going from one instance to another. And I'm saying all that just to more importantly say that I am blessed. You understand? Like I'm blessed with a 5 month old. You know what I'm saying? Because I was about to say 5 month year old, which is crazy. But God blessed me with a 5 month old child. He's a baby boy. You know what I'm saying? And more importantly, he's healthy and he's smiling. You know what I'm saying? So I thank his mother for blessing me with that. And what's so important in me bringing this up to my people that's, subscribing and listening to this pod is because this is my first time sharing this information, of course. People that know me know I'm a very private person. So I don't come off as the type to talk about anything, yet alone something regarding my life. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sharing this because it's been something that, as blessing and grateful as I am for it, has been a big challenge as far as handling the change and providing the things that I'm supposed to do, like this content, for instance. You know what I'm saying? So me announcing it is just to let the people know that, the God done shot the club up, you know what I'm saying? Respectfully, you know what I mean? Shout out to Sean Poe, you know what I mean? Niggas walked in there with the blick and let the shit off, you know what I'm saying? And the difference between that and Sean Poe, a nigga ain't go to jail, you understand? So respectfully, you know what I mean? Did one in and came out with, a handsome face, you know what I'm saying? So definitely shout out to all the fathers out there. more importantly, again, it's very important for the kids and people around the world to see that there are good fathers out there, as good examples of end quote real men. Because a lot of motherfuckers, especially men, want to talk about what it is to be a real nigga or a real man and all that shit. A real man take care of their family. You understand? So if you ain't about taking care of your family, I don't give a fuck about what else you got going on in your life. You ain't that real nigga if you ain't taking care of your kid or your family, whatever you want to categorize that to. So shout out to all the good dads out there, and of course shout out to all the good mommies. You know what I'm saying? Being legendary and being just you know very overwhelming in that sense because it's not a light thing to be a parent, especially a mother and a father. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all the good parents out there, man. And like I said, man, because definitely wanted to get it out. You know what I'm saying? Now that y'all know, Los is a daddy. You know what I'm saying? 5 months of daddy time has been the best time of my life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just hoping to continue those days and these days going forward. But let's get into this pod, man, because like I said, besides the realness, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause we all about positivity and progression. We all about the fuckery too. You know what I'm saying? We don't subscribe to it, but we do talk about it. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of shit, man. You know what I mean? Of course, like I said, you got Father's Day weekend. So I hope the daddies out there got some good shit. You know what I'm saying? I hope they ain't get ties and motherfucking socks. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with socks, personally. But it's just like the effort in it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like 5 years in a row is like socks and just socks. This is wild, you know what I'm saying? Like moms be getting Pandora bracelets and shit and motherfucking theater reservations and all this, and then daddies get motherfucking hot pockets and ties. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta understand and break the dichotomy of that shit down because it makes no sense. You understand? But shout out to the dads. And of course, it was also Juneteenth, man. You know what I'm saying? For the folks that don't know, Juneteenth was the last recognized day of slavery, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? But more importantly, it's the fact that we don't even have a day of work for that day, or more so a a day off that we was blessed for Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? To keep it a buck, I really only give a fuck about me being off work, and that's for all the 9 to 5ers out there. If you're an entrepreneur, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Get your money though, but you know what I'm saying? Fuck you in regards because you always off. You know what I'm saying? But to my 9 to 5ers, Juneteenth, which was this past Monday, we had that off. You know what I'm saying? The God was off. I was just able to just do absolutely nothing. And before I actually get to Juneteenth, because I'm fucking up, because I want to give y'all a recap of that particular weekend, because it was actually a grateful weekend, you know what I'm saying? And forgive me because I'm definitely rambling. We everywhere right now, but it's been a good minute since the last pod. So, you know what I'm saying? Walk with me. We're gonna get there. You know what I'm saying? So Father's Day weekend, Father's Day being June 18th, this past Sunday, you know what I'm saying? Definitely one of those grateful situations, you know what I'm saying, was able to wake up, see my little man. He definitely snuffed me, you know what I'm saying? So that was the first absolute thing that happened to me as soon as I opened my eyes. I got snuffed, you know what I'm saying, by a baby, you know what I mean? And then just got drooled on, So already waking up, just understanding that you ain't in control of this shit, you know what I mean? He got control, but we move on, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no money being taken off my plate, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that, So we continue, you know what I mean? And then throughout the day, get some bread a little bit, leave that situation, and go to a festival. It's a Juneteenth festival, if I'm not mistaken, that was in Portsmouth. It was in downtown Portsmouth near the base. And they had Montel Jordan and 702. A very random lineup, but first and foremost, shout out to 702 because they legends, and shout out to Montel Jordan because that's another legend. But my man Montel Jordan came out performing a live version of the fucking "This Is How We Do It" to the 5 on It beat. He did a live blend to the 5 on It instrumental with "This Is How We Do It." So when I saw that, it fucked me up because I'm thinking like my man's was like being funny or like being a joke, but he was dead ass performing the song to the instrumental, so it fucked me up. And then 702, they just overall had a dope performance. It was 2 of them. I don't know what happened to the third member, so it was technically 70. But you know what I'm saying? But because if it ain't all the members, then it ain't. You can't name it what it is. Like when I saw the verses between fucking 112 and it was Jagged Edge, if I'm not mistaken, but it was no Slim for 112. At that point, it was 12. You know what I mean? It wasn't no 112. It was 1-2. You know what I'm saying? Against fucking Jagged Edge. Jagged Edge had the squad. But when it came to 112, them niggas was missing like one nigga or two niggas. So at that point, that's not 112. That's 11. You understand? So back to 702. It was 2 of them. So technically, it was 7-0. You know what I mean? But it was still the catalog. You know what I'm saying? They performed "I Love You," produced by Pharrell Williams, and we're gonna get to the good brother Pharrell in a minute. And you know, they performed the other classics, man, and you know, like where my girl's at and shit like that. So it was dope just to see 702 and even to see Montel Jordan, because you gotta understand this festival was put together for the people, it was put together for Juneteenth, and it was for free. So can't really complain because it won't like motherfuckers wasted money. You know what I'm saying? You could say you probably wasted your time. I had a good time, but you know what I'm saying? That was particularly that Sunday on Father's Day. You feel me? Now Juneteenth was very interesting because Juneteenth, for the people that don't know, besides the explanation I just gave to people, Juneteenth is June 19th. You know what I'm saying? Like I just get, for the people that don't know, Juneteenth is June 19th. So Juneteenth follows the day after Father's Day, which was this year, June 18th, and June 19th followed on the Monday of the 19th of June, of course. That day was just a moment of, like I said, just being off. Ironically, it was no festivals, probably because it was Monday. So all the, you know, outdoor activities was held for that prior Sunday and Saturday. But Juneteenth was more so just a being blessed to be off. Now, on top of that, it was a lot of people, mainly black people, that was not even off. They had to work. And then on top of that, you had more white motherfuckers that was off for Juneteenth than black people was off for Juneteenth. Yet Juneteenth is supposed to be for black people. So it just tells you that it's a whitewash ass situation. But for my niggas, my knee guys, you know what I'm saying? Negroes, whatever you want to fucking call it, just respect and understand that it's a day off. You understand? And if you are one of the types that want to make it a big thing, then make it a big thing because ain't nothing wrong to it. You have that right. But for the niggas that take it as a day off, it's just that. You know what I'm saying? And apparently it ain't because everybody ain't fucking off. So to each his own, man. You know what I'm saying? But of course, had to give y'all a little brief recap of the weekend, you know what I'm saying, to see what the God had. And of course, with the days off on top of the current schedule, you know what I'm saying, had a good little vacation, little break the, you know, release all the negativity and the toxins out your body and shit like that and come to the new week with a fresh brain and mindset, man. You know what I mean? But, and again, this is just, you know, the recap of local shit or things that happen locally. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it local, you know, want to shout out to the Norfolk Tides, as you see on my fitted, you know what I'm saying? I want to shout out to the Tides for actually coming to their fucking senses and collaborating with Made in Norfolk. Shout out to Made in Norfolk. You understand? Shout out to Amir Driver, my boy Carnell and them and the team, first and foremost. But shout out to the Norfolk Tides for understanding that what they did originally was some bullshit by trying to copy and paste and copyright infringe the guys off made in Norfolk, but understanding that was some bullshit, and rather than trying to steal and cheat, collaborate with the locals and make it about Norfolk. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I want to give my support to the Norfolk Tides, because I always tell my locals that we need to be the ones to step out and do things like go to Ties games more often, for instance, or go to more Admirals games. Shout out to the Norfolk Admirals, the hockey team, you know what I'm saying? Because niggas in the city always talking about having a pro team and wanting one. And me being one of them, I would love to have a fucking pro team in the city. But in order to get that type of shit, we have to provide viewership. So if we're not even giving viewership as far as our minor league situations, how the fuck you think that shit gonna correlate to the major league? Granted, if we was to get a stadium right now and it was the fucking NBA team or whatever pro league team, we'll pop out and show out for that. But the whole point is, if we're not supporting what we currently have, how the fuck we gonna support and respect more so what the fuck we asking for? You understand? So again, to all the motherfuckers for example and for outdoor activity assistance, if you need something to do in the city, you can definitely again go to an Admirals hockey game, because hockey games are fucking fire, by the way. Ain't nothing like going to a hockey game with your mans or your homeboy, your girl, your whatever you want to go with. Get a drink or be sober and just to watch the event, and the atmosphere is just the shit. And then to go to the Ties game is just like, why the fuck not? Take the team, take your girl, take your kid, take whatever that fits the atmosphere and enjoy that shit. You don't even gotta watch the game. Just be there for the fucking field. Get some popcorn, get a hot dog, get a corn dog. You know what I'm saying? Parlay with the rest of the locals, get a ball. You know what I'm saying? Get the VIP, rock with the team. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. And then just go out to these mics in these local situations and see about the local talent. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, because for the love, we about 757 sounds, and it's a lot of other motherfucking sounds. You understand? And we not done with the local shit. You know what I'm saying? Because again, on the battle rap scene, I want to shout out to ARP from RBE Battle Rap League. You understand? They have an event in Hampton, Virginia coming on July 1st and the 2nd. And forgive me because I don't know the lounge, but it's an event. It's the Intake Series, and it's RBE sponsored. Shout out to ARP again, because not only for representing the battle rap culture, but again for single-handedly taking the time and effort to go to the city in the 757. Excuse me, I had to yawn. But in the 757 to come in the area and to see the talent and pick out the talent and put that in his platform for the world to see, not only for the locals, but the world to see that VA got some shit. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to, shout out to fucking Caution. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Av, shout out to fucking First Lady Flames. That battle recently with Flames and Caution was already a VA classic. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Jack Boy. You know what I'm saying? They all not 7'5", but they Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Notes. Shout out to Riddick. Shout out to Power. You know what I'm saying? I'm not naming everybody, but everybody is Virginia, and I'm loving it because I'm just seeing the talent in the area. You know what I'm saying? And also, because this past weekend, Father's Day weekend, was also the Shag Fest. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Shaggy representing, you know what I mean? Shout out to Meth and Red. They was the headliners of the festival. You know what I'm saying? And locally, shout out to Amir representing Made in Norfolk, because he represented the cipher that was there for the local cipher. My boy Fro Wonders was in the building. And just so y'all niggas understand what type of time I'm on when it comes to Fro, ain't nobody fucking with Fro. You understand? I got my money on Fro. Shout out to the Wonders team, man. You understand? But again, it was a eventful weekend for the city. You know what I'm saying? We had the Shag Fest. We had multiple festivals that was free for the public and for the people. just to come out and enjoy themselves. Good food, good snacks, you know what I'm saying? Good sounds, good vibes, all that shit, you know what I'm saying? Then to top it off with, you know what I'm saying, the Father's Day to the daddies, and then you had the day off with the Juneteenth holiday. You know what I'm saying? It was a little cool 2-3 days. For some people, motherfuckers have 4-5 day situation weekends because they holidays coincide with the current scheduled off days, so they, it was blessed all around, you know what I mean? But 7-5 had a lot, man. And again, we was just speaking from a local standpoint, but to keep it 7-5-7 and in the same breath expand the landscape, I would say, to a more global sense. You know what I'm saying? We dial that back to the good brother Pharrell Williams, because at the end of the day, the good brother Pharrell had the 7-5 in fucking Paris. You understand? Like when Kanye said in the Apple interview, the reason why they dropped niggas in Paris is because niggas was in Paris. You understand? Like the 7-5-7 was in fucking Paris. Like for people that don't understand, and before I go off in my tangent, for the people that don't know where I'm going with this, of course, Pharrell Williams recently became the creative designer for Louis Vuitton, and that was after, of course, the good brother Virgil Abloh. And if I'm pronouncing his last name, forgive me, but the good brother Virgil passed away due to cancer. You know what I'm saying? So the successor was Pharrell Williams, and Pharrell residing in 7-5-7, or being from, let me say that because I don't know where the fuck he at, but more so the fact that he's from the 7-5, and going back to the show, seeing him incorporate the 7-5-7 was even incredible to see. For instance, he had the Princess Anne varsity jacket on the runway. He had the Clips, which is Pusha T and Malice, who walk the runway. You understand? He had the 7-5-7 in Paris. Like, it was just like overwhelming. You understand? Like, to see the city and the town in the fucking fashion in itself is a win. Like we saw it back in Something in the Water, where he put the Virginians for Lovers with the LV stamp. Like the way he's incorporating the city with his creation for the design is a win automatically. You know what I'm saying? Like, so shout out to Pharrell to see that full circle moment, just to see pieces that if you were only outside that you would catch be replicated in that particular moment, for him to do it in his first national, or excuse me, global fashion event after becoming that title for Louis Vuitton, to have all those people out there. And we didn't even get to the Pusher situation with Jim Jones, because that's more so music, but we can keep it with that, because like with the music, you have a new record with Pusha T that's being played during the runway. So we have a new Pusha T record, which is 7-5-7 Sounds, being played in Paris, and he's dissing a nigga while he's in Paris, while walking it. Bro, I don't know. Like, in Jim Jones, I'm gonna keep it short. I fuck with Jimmy. Like, I'm a Dipset fan. I don't know a nigga that's not a Dipset fan personally. But back to Jim Jones, because he felt the need to speak on Pusha T for whatever personal reason, whatever. But when it comes to rap, and when it comes to shit being on wax, it's just that. It's on wax. You know what I'm saying? So when my man said what he said in regards to Pusha T not being, in his mind, a top 50 greatest rapper of all time, and again, if that's his opinion, that's his opinion. But when you're speaking of a nigga rap skills and a nigga rapping ability, and again, the conversation is about rapping, and when that nigga that you're talking about decides to do some shit on wax, then my nigga, rap back. If you're not rapping back, then I don't want to hear none of that shit. We should have learned this shit from the whole uh, Drake Kendrick situation. When Kendrick got on that fucking BET cipher and started wilding on Aubrey, and this nigga Aubrey went on fucking radio interviews and started talking about this shit. It's like, my nigga, we want to hear raps. We don't want to hear about how you feel about this shit. Like, fuck out of here, rap, nigga. Like, just like when Meek was on Twitter fingering the fuck out of Drake, and Drake went on fucking wax and went at him with the charge up, and then went right back at him with the back to back. That we was fucking with that because that was the feeling that we used to know back then. So if you ain't rapping now, then shut that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Rap back, Jim Jones, since he ain't top 50. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say niggas ain't fucking with it. You know what I'm saying? And then for the people that have a feeling about Push even responding, my nigga, again, it's rap. The fuck? Like, if I talk about a nigga, that's like if I talk about a nigga basketball skills and the nigga come back and say, play me one-on-one, and then I say, nah. You know what I'm saying? But then I feel the need to talk about your skills. Then at that point, if I'm not trying to pay you one-on-one, I should be speaking about your talent or your skills at that moment. Because if I'm not willing to like prove what the fuck I'm saying, or at least let him prove me wrong, then what am I talking about? You understand? But saying all of that, again, congrats to Pharrell Williams, you know what I'm saying? Because that was all in relations to the Louis Vuitton show that was in Paris. And again, the 757 had the Rose was in that fucking event that night, you know what I'm saying? And it is what it is, because it's motherfucking Pharrell, man, you know what I mean? And Virginia's the influence of this shit. Shout out to Vic and AI, you know, but so far we definitely just did a recap of this past weekend, which is aka Father's Day / Juneteenth weekend. You know what I'm saying? Been a lot of shit in my mind that I felt not only occurred or happened, but it correlates to the 757 and it speaks of the area. So that was a very dope moment in itself for me. You know what I'm saying? Seeing that Pharrell thing push off. But speaking of the Pusha T situation with Jim Jones concluding that, but to correlate and segue, that actually leads me to the music segment, where it's not been a lot of music, but there has been music in regards to releases. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Killer Mike. His Malcolm album is definitely out on DSPs, and I will say that as of now, mid 2023, we are in the month of June still. Michael is the album of the year, absolutely. Killer Mike delivered us an album that, from top down, it is undisputed the shit. Like it may go down as a classic. I feel like it's too soon to call. It didn't give me the instant classic feel, but I feel like once it marinates and like sits there at least until the end of the year, then I will probably, it probably don't even need to take that long. I'll probably say like by like fall, then I can call it that. But like probably by the end, because once the end of the year comes, and I done seen all of the releases and I can go back to the album, then I feel like it's a classic. To me, the last instant classic, personally, was Victory Lap by Nip. Because as soon as that album dropped, I remember from top down, first listen, I said, this shit is everything Nip said it was going to be for the past 5 years, and we're listening to it, and it's a classic. But going back to Killer Mike's album, shit is fire. Like, my favorite record so far is probably, man, I don't even fucking know, because it's so many, it switches every time. I heard it 3 times fully so far, and the record he has with Andre and Future is dope as shit. And that's not even my favorite one. It's so many like records that in that album that's dope. Like the album reminds me of how Vince Staples made me felt last year. Last year, it was Ramona Park Broke My Heart. And then the year before that, in 2021, was Isaiah Rashad's album, House is Burning. So those two albums was like the last two albums that made me felt like, damn, they really saying some shit. And this year, and I forgot Ab Soul's album, Herbert. Technically, that came out fourth quarter last year in 22. So part of me kind of put Ab Soul album with this year, but it's technically a 2022 album. So it's like, if Ab Soul album came out this year, then I would be saying Ab Soul album of the year. But the fact that it came out fourth quarter is technically a 2022 release. And then as far as 2023, the only albums at the moment that I really have like up there that's like as far as like album of the year, and there's only two. One of them is Killer Mike, and the second one is Larry June. You know what I'm saying? With The Alchemist. You know what I'm saying? That album is fire from top down as well. And that shit might damn near go down as a classic also. You know what I'm saying? Because that might arguably be Larry June's best body of work, in my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? And that's the Great Escape album. But this Michael album, when it's all said and done, I feel like it's going to be not only recognized as the album of the year, but it should be Grammy nominated. It should be one of those type of albums where it should win Best Rap Album and pretty much get the awards it should be getting. You know what I'm saying? We may not be typical of seeing Killer Mike be nominated or even win a Grammy or a BET award or whatever hip hop related award, Soul Train, but he needs to win and collect some this year because that album is insane. You know what I mean? But shout out to Killer Mike and shout out to Gunna, man, because it ain't just Killer Mike that dropped. Gunna also dropped some shit. And, bruh, that shit is fire. Like, I'm yo, fam, like, the niggas calling him a rat, you know what I'm saying? He to me, if you talk to the police, you gave the nigga information, you rat it, you know what I'm saying? But I don't invest too much or at all into that shit because it has nothing to do with me. It's just a 2 cent thought on it. And regardless of that, if what he just dropped sounds like that, then bro, you may need niggas snitching going forward. No, like for real, cause like if a nigga starts snitching, or if a nigga got a snitch to sound like that, then niggas probably need to start snitching, B. Because that shit. Listen, that nigga Gunna dropped his album. I don't even know what this shit is called, son. Hold on, B. Like that, but he dropped the album and it's straight fire. Like, and even that is straight fire. Is no features, so that's one. So that's kind of hard. Like he did J. Cole usually get that type of that category or that throne. Like he platinum with no features and all that shit. But to more so, I'm just speaking of the approach because it should show you how Gunna went with this body of work. Like at the time, like he dropped the shit with no features, so he ain't reach out to nobody. He just wanted a 12 to 14 track record with just him addressing everything he needs to address. And he damn sure did that, and he did it while making it sound dope because people gotta understand Gunna never came off as the thug nigga or the motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, he never came off as the gangster nigga. To me, Gunna is like, and I say this in terms of overall, not just like lyrics and lyricism and rapping, but to me, he's like damn near the South Mace because, again, Gunna doesn't rap like Mace. Mace will body fucking Gunna in a 16 or fucking battle, however you want to categorize it. But they're the same to me in terms of what their approach are. Their approach is about money, girls, goddamn materialistic shit. You know what I'm saying? To keep it a buck. That's Mace. And Mace in Bad Boy back in the 90s, he was all about platinum this, platinum that. You got Benz this, you know what I'm saying? All of that. That was Mace Lane. That's why the shiny suit shit fit Mace. You know what I'm saying? With Gunna, he hanging around YSL, who is a bunch of street niggas, but he's the nigga that's about the clothes, the fashion, the girls, the money. You know, same shit as Mace. So he's like the fucking South Mace. You know what I'm saying? So to see that album, and for me, when I heard it, I'm like, I want to just see it's new music, so I want to see what it sounds like. Even though I have my feelings on what Gunna did in the plea deal situation, it's music. So he ain't violate nobody, he ain't rape nobody, he ain't murder nobody allegedly, he ain't do none of that violating shit. He just did some shit. As far as I'm concerned, he makes music and he's under YSL, you know what I'm saying? Which is some street ass gangster shit, you know what I mean? But the shit is fire, and that's just as far as new music on the hip hop side, on the music side, regardless, because you know what I mean. As far as rap, it's just Gunna, and then I'm really stuck on Killer Mike because Killer Mike shit is that fire. You know what I'm saying? It actually made me rest Ab Soul's album, which is Herbert. And again, like I said, even though it dropped late last year, it's the album I'm still playing to this fucking day because to me that album is incredible. You know what I mean? But shout out to Killer Mike, and he should be at the Nova, which is in Norfolk, of course, next month. You know what I'm saying? So definitely look forward to seeing Killer Mike, and you know what I mean? Shout out to all to the new music cats, man. But you know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it with the music, you know. Again, keeping it funky and keeping it recent. This past end of the week, you know what I'm saying, we had the NBA draft, you know, because this ain't ESPN, but we do cover sports, you understand? But the NBA draft was just Thursday, you understand? And your boy Victor Wendy, I cannot and I will not pronounce his last name respectfully because I don't want to fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody from France coming to find the God because we in Virginia, we fuck with French. You know what I'm saying? My last name is French. You know what I'm saying? And we fuck with Tony Parker, man. You know what I'm saying? Tony Parker is the greatest rapper in France. You know what I'm saying? So the Tony Parker album is a classic on this side. You understand? So we don't want no beef for France. You understand? But going forward, Victor Wemby, or V-Dub, as we're going to call him, went number one, you know what I'm saying, to the San Antonio Spurs. I wonder how, you know what I'm saying? Because to me, he's going to wow the fuck out in the league. Niggas is saying he ain't gonna do it, or motherfuckers is doubting him saying I gotta see it. And I get it because at the same time he did not or do not have any pro North American basketball experience, because as far as they talked about it, he hasn't even played under the NBA rules yet. But my thing is, skill is skill. They did the same thing with Kevin Durant, more importantly, because Kevin Durant is the more notable, like, NBA player besides being a star or not, that went through that situation with the height and weight, more so the weight. You know what I'm saying? They saying your boy Wemby needs to bulk up, which is partially true. But at the end of the day, I tell motherfuckers, what does weight have to do with putting the ball up and shooting that motherfucker? Like, if I can pull up and shoot that bitch and it goes in the bucket, that has nothing to do with weight. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, I admit and agree he needs to gain some weight and add some muscle to it, but that's throughout his career he's going to do that. We saw with Jordan. When Jordan came in the league, he wasn't necessarily the frailest nigga in the fucking in the league at the time, but he wasn't the big Jordan back then. He was small and was giving you 50, 60. And then once he was getting his ass beat by Detroit, he went in that weight room and got that fucking muscle up. And then he became Air Jordan that you know what I'm saying? That we know with 6 rings and all this shit that we call the GOAT. And I'm saying all of that to say with Wemby, and to know that the way the game is played today, Like in 2023, the way NBA is played today, like the way it's officiated and ran and structured and all that shit, he's about to snap. Like in the fucking league. Like niggas don't understand he's about to snap. Like you can barely even touch the fucking offensive player while playing defense. It's designed for the offense to excel. So as long as my man stay healthy, and that's for anybody, of course, because bar injury, if you can stay healthy, he's going to be fine. And then throughout the time you give, like for instance, throughout his first rookie deal, you give him that duration to just grow and build and learn and etc. He's gonna be he's gonna be amazing. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of all of that, you surround him with actual talent as far as his team with the Spurs, and they can do some damage because niggas ain't saying the Spurs about to win the championship, they about to be a dynasty, they about to run the league. We ain't saying none of that because the one difference that San Antonio is going through with this number one pick compared to the last two was that the last two, which was motherfucking Duncan and Robinson, they were established teams. You know what I'm saying? Or more so with Duncan because with Robinson, those teams were kind of it was established. They just kind of needed more time to build, and then by the time they got the Duncan and picking him, that's when they was established. They was already a set team, so it was just throwing Duncan with a set team. But with this situation, you got Wemby kind of being thrown as the guy like to turn around the whole situation, which he will. And then I also feel like it's going to kind of make San Antonio attractive. You know what I'm saying? Because throughout fucking NBA history, you can't name a lot of motherfuckers that wanted to go to San Antonio, if not one. You know what I'm saying? So I just really think he was the perfect guy, and it makes you think why you think San Antonio got the number one pick. Like I understand it's a lottery and shit, but I mean, the motherfuckers from France, international player. You got the Spurs international team, Tony Parker, Ginobili, Duncan. You know what I'm saying? Like it correlates. You feel me? Like I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but I just really think it's just that because it just makes what other sense does it make? You know what I'm saying? But I'm I'm rocking with Victor, man. I really think he's going to excel. On top of that, he's going to be Rookie of the Year. He got that lock. I really feel like he can produce some solid shit for his rookie season. And then his second year is going to be the year that he'll take off, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But that's all pertaining to number one pick in the NBA draft. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brandon Miller, played for Alabama. He went number two. He went to the Charlotte Hornets, and then of course Scoot Henderson for the G League at night or overtime at night, excuse me, went to the Portland Trailblazers at number three. You know what I'm saying? Now with the NBA draft, those were really the main three prospects that were being televised, and they were supposed to be the top three of this year's draft, which they ended up being going forward from that point. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to, you know what I'm saying, touch on that because that's a lot of draft picks, respectfully. It's 2 rounds, 60 picks. And if you need the details of that, you can go on ESPN.com, go on NBA, etc. Because look that shit up, you understand? But again, shout out to the draftees this year. You know what I'm saying? Definitely achieved the goal that was well deserved, you know what I'm saying? Made your parents proud, things of that sorts, and just dope shit, you know what I'm saying? But keeping it sports because again, it's not really we at the off season term now, you know what I'm saying? Like we done concluded the basketball season at the NBA. You know, we saw the Denver Nuggets win the championship overwhelmingly against the Miami Heat, you know, and we are currently getting ready for football season on the other side because we know that football doesn't start until around September. You know what I'm saying? And that's even for college football, but more so for the NFL. We're just patiently waiting for the season to start and for more off-season moves to conclude, because there's still free agents out there that needs to be signed. That's very notable, like D Hop and Ezekiel Elliott and a lot of other running backs that's like high tier running backs that's free agents, which is fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then on the NBA side, going back to that, even though they just concluded their season, and again, we found out that the Nuggets won their first championship, they're already starting to wild on their offseason moves. I mean, Porzingis is a fucking Celtic for Marcus Smart, who went to the Grizzlies. So you got Marcus Smart finally being traded from Boston after rumors and rumors and rumors and rumors of him being traded. He finally gets thrown to Memphis, which is actually not a bad situation for Marcus Smart, because now he's that veteran piece that Memphis really needs. And I don't know how much Marcus Smart is going to impact that in that regard. I feel like it's going to be a big one, because he's that veteran that can humble Ja and the rest of that team and make them stay focused and keeping pace on what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, he's a defensive player. He was the last defensive player of the year. So you got him matched with Jerry Jackson. And then if they keep Dylan Brooks and then their whole situation, they may arguably be the best defensive team going next year into the league. You know what I'm saying? So Memphis is definitely locked in. We're going to see, though, because they have to start the season 25 games out without Ja, which is their franchise star player. You know what I'm saying? Because Ja want to show guns again. You know what I'm saying? So Adam Silver says, sit your ass down for 25 of them things. So we're going to see how Memphis responds to the first 25, and then throughout the whole season, how they play with Marcus Smart. Because shit, to me, I feel like for the first 25 games, excuse me, not 45, but 25, Marcus Smart is their starting point guard, obviously. And then you got Desmond Bane, Jerry Jackson, and the rest of the team that we saw that was playing against the Lakers and shit. So we're going to see. And then on Boston side, even though they did lose an intricate role piece in Marcus Smart, who was their main point guard, they did pick up Porzingis, who is that needed big man for Boston. So now, on top of Tatum and Brown, who I felt like should have split, but for money and team purposes, they're not going nowhere. So you got them two, and then you add a Porzingis in the front. You know what I'm saying? And then you was able to keep Brogdon and Derek White as your guards. So personally, to me, Boston still needs a starting point guard, but I think they got a little better in that sense from adding another guy that can get you an easy 20 and 15. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely something to look forward to with Boston. And then as far as the offseason in the NBA, man, motherfucking Golden State Warriors, man. Like, the fucking Golden State Warriors, man. Just when you thought these niggas was, I don't want to say they was done, because they the fucking Warriors. As long as Steph Curry is playing, then they're always have a chance. But to see Chris Paul and the Golden State Warriors in the same sentence, and it's a fact, it's flabbergasting, son. Like, I'm still like blown the fuck away off that. Like, like for the past 10 years, 5 seasons at least, 5 to 10 seasons, we done seen Chris Paul particularly battle against this team. Now he's with this team. And on top of that, it was for Jordan Poole, who goes to the Wizards. You get what I'm saying? So, and before I even get to that move, because I'm jumping too fast, you know what I'm saying? Chris Paul got traded from Phoenix to the Wizards. You know what I'm saying? For like some scrubs. Like for some scrubs. I don't care if Chris Paul's 38 or whatever. Like they traded this nigga for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, for Bradley Bill and some picks. You know what I'm saying? So Phoenix definitely got somebody. You know what I'm saying? Washington ended up dumping a Bill contract for like for Chris Paul, who he not really gonna fucking use because they're in a rebuild. Then to now flip that into Jordan Poole with Golden State. Now you got Chris Paul with Steph Curry in them. So for Washington, I can understand it because they're in a complete rebuild. So you're about to just see them start refresh with Jordan Poole situation. You know what I'm saying? And then Golden State, I don't know, man, because Chris Ball is crazy. Chris Ball is wild, first off, yo. You know what I'm saying? Let me take a moment of silence for that, because that was wild nasty. You know what I'm saying? We ain't pausing that, but damn, like, but Chris Paul playing for the Golden State Warriors is insane to me, because like, I don't see how that works. Like, I kind of do, but I don't, because does that mean Steph Curry's playing more off the ball now? And I'm gonna just leave it at that, because that's the only thing that logically makes sense, unless Chris Paul plays the second team and he can facilitate that. But I don't see just that for Chris Paul, because Chris Paul is not a bench player. He's a starter. So it has to be moments where it's him and Steph on the court at the same time. And in those moments, I only see Steph moving down to the two and letting Chris Paul be the point guard. Because Steph Curry is a point guard. But personally, if we're talking about being a point guard and facilitating and the way the position is played, I'd rather Chris Paul walk down the court with the ball than Steph Curry, because Steph Curry is more of a screen, pull up, and shoot. So you can have Steph at the 2, Clay at the 3, and have you want in the 4 and the 5, and then have Chris play the 1 and facilitate that like that. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to see, because I don't want to long-winded with the off-season moves, but that's just to tell you how the NBA is already on it, and they just concluded the fucking finals. You know what I'm saying? And again, on the football side, it's kind of more the opposite, because the deals and off-season moves kind of happened like months ago. So now we kind of just like being patient until we see more moves happening from that point, and then we get into fantasy football and then the real season. You know what I'm saying? But again, man, shout out to sports, because the shit is like it's very emotional. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it knows how to get the niggas, and it's very entertaining. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not into it, get into it, because I don't know why you wouldn't not be. You know, but think that's enough for sports, man, because that's what basketball, and then talk some football shit, and everything else. Of course, it's currently baseball season, but baseball is being played every fucking day from motherfucking April until October. So if you miss it, you're not missing it, because it's hella games left to go, and that's where we at. You know what I'm saying? And of course, they concluded with hockey. Shout out to the Vegas Knights. You know what I'm saying? And they're currently on the WNBA season. Shout out to the ladies. You know what I'm saying? For the love, supports the ladies out here, for the love of the WNBA. And they're actually gearing to go to their All-Star weekend come mid-July. And you know what I'm saying? Just saying that to say shout out to the ladies again, man, because ain't nothing like the ladies balling, man. Shout out to BG, because just to see you on the court is enough for me. You know what I mean? That's what I'm rooting for, man. But enough of sports again, because like I said, it's enough. I know y'all niggas like, damn, this nigga low, like, sound like Stephen A. Cuh out here. You know what I'm saying? That's my new name, Stephen A. Cuh. You understand? Recognize me and understand and call me right. But did the sports thing, man. We recapped Juneteenth and Father's Day weekend. You know what I'm saying? And, flowers to all the dads out there and pops. And, we went over the new music. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Gunatello, you know what I'm saying? My nigga called him Gunatello, and that shit had me crying for 30 minutes. But again, Gunatello dropped that heat. And I saw another comment about that shit real quick that made me start crying because the nigga said, damn, that nigga really might be Ratatouille out this motherfucker because he cooking. And that shit had me crying. But again, the album is fire. And the Killer Mike album, Michael, is hard. And I'm about dope music, man. If you ain't, as long as you ain't violating motherfuckers like Robert, you know what I'm saying, and you about dope shit and you drop dope shit, I'm fucking with it. So Gunna shit is fire to me, man. I can't deny shit that's just dope. Like, it's just fire, you know what I mean? And hopefully some shit will come out of it, you know what I mean? And where we at, man? Because we usually get in, okay, where we at? We're gonna take a break right now. You know what I'm saying? Alright. So we back from the break, and what I wanted to also discuss, because there's still some things that happen within the culture, first I wanna speak on the Sukiana situation relating to the harassment or the assault that was done by the cat named YK Cyrus, whatever the fuck his name is. So apparently he went over to the girl. He started to flirt with the lady. And for the people who do not know who Sukiana is, she is a sex worker slash entertainer. Let me say that, you know what I'm saying? The reason why I called her a sex worker is because she is an OnlyFans model. On top of that, she is a publicly known sexual figure. She's known to put herself out there in that regard when it comes to sexual content. You know what I'm saying? So that's just to give the glimpse of who she is. Now, of course, that doesn't correlate nor mean that those type of people, and shout out to the sex workers out there, the porn stars, etc., whatever you want to label yourself as, get your bread, you know what I'm saying? Because regardless of what you do, that does not equivalent to harassment nor assault. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say that first. And apparently, she was at the event. YK Osiris was at the event. He was flirting with the girl, and she wasn't feeling it apparently. And to keep it short, he ended up kissing her to without her consent. You know what I'm saying? So it came off as harassment, which it is, because if you just go over to a motherfucker, man or woman or regardless, and you just touch somebody or kiss somebody without their consent, that's harassment. You know what I'm saying? So my man's apologized for it, and hopefully going forward he will change behavior, because that's the only thing that would tell a motherfucker that he lived and learned is change behavior. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's very unfortunate because it's one of those things again where as men we have to understand that consent is consent. No means no. And I'm only bringing this up because to the people out there, more so the men, they need to man the fuck up and get motherfucking girls that want them, not motherfuckers that don't want you. If they don't want you, they don't want you. Leave them alone, mind your business, pay for pussy if you that fucking deep or horny, whatever. If you that desperate, fucking oozing of horniness, pay for it, my nigga, rather than violating. Because that violating shit would get you fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And again, the best thing going forward is to change behavior. Because that's the best thing that we know that you live to learn. You know what I'm saying? So respect to YK Osiris for acknowledging that fuck up. It doesn't change what he did. You know what I'm saying? But he did step up as a man and to take accountability for his actions. Again, it doesn't justify what the fuck he did, but he did take accountability to what he did. So that's the first step. And then going forward, know not to do that shit at all. You know what I'm saying? He should never really did it the first time, but his lessons. You know what I'm saying? Because in his mind, to keep it a buck, he probably felt like, and he's a young brother, he's in his early 20s. So in his mind, he really felt like because of how she gives it up, how he gave it up was okay. And for not just him, but for all men and people, because it's women too, is not okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all can be motherfuckers, bro, y'all can be making out for 2 hours and y'all can be feeling it. And then after 2 hours, that first minute, she something hit her that probably don't make her feel comfortable no more. And she says, "Nah, I'm good." At that point, there's no more making out. Stop. You know what I'm saying? It's too much to. It's just too many, man, to be violating, you know? So I'm gonna end it on that. And if you about violating, then you a bozo. And for the love, don't support that shit. You understand? But keeping it funky and keeping it positive. You know what I'm saying? Because that was about, assault. That was a little touchy. But keeping it positive, you know what I'm saying, and progressive, because For the Love is about progression. You already know it. Shout out to Tyler Perry, man. You know what I'm saying? I know niggas is listening like, yo, this nigga roasted. Shout out to Tyler Perry. Yes, we did, because BET is officially black owned again. You know what I'm saying? And VH1 is, for the first time in its history, a black owned network. You understand? So for the people who don't know, Tyler Perry, the Tyler Perry, you know what I'm saying, Medea, has officially purchased the majority rights of BET, which is Black Entertainment Television. They were previously owned by Viacom, and Viacom owns damn near everything. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Just to see Tyler Perry, who is a black man, acquire that was a great thing, because the issue or the argument for the past 10 to 15 years since Bob Johnson sold BET back in the early 2000s was that we're not a black owned company. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I felt like it was not as needed, but it was a great point or a great leverage to know that it's a black owned, because if it's something that is celebrating and showcasing and, you know what I'm saying, promoting the culture, then it would make it more organic and dope for it to be black owned. Now, if it's a white owned channel, but if supporting the culture, then I'm with that too. You know what I'm saying? Because technically, for instance, like MTV, they wasn't black owned, but they gave us Yo MTV Raps. So, you know what I'm saying? But like with this situation, I'm more excited because of the potential that I felt or feel that Tyler Perry can do with this network, more than the fact that it's black owned now. Being that, or for example, my thoughts, if I was in the room with Tyler Perry, and then Tyler Perry, you're probably not even listening to the guy right now, but if you are, you know what I'm saying? For instance, I would try to bring back Rap City, for example. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much like to summarize what I would try to do with BET is I would try to simply revamp the network slash channel by restoring the feeling of the past, but keeping it updated by giving us the future. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that, for example, is like bringing back Rap City. You know what I'm saying? Calling up Big Tigger saying, "Yo, I got the network in the palm of my hands now. I would love for you to come back, bring back the Rap City feeling." You know what I'm saying? We can bring back legacy artists. We can bring back the new artists that's out there now. We can kind of make it a more lounge podcast feel, and then at the end still bring back the booth. And again, these are just examples. You know what I'm saying? We can probably try to bring back 106 and Park. Probably don't even have to do that, because 106 and Park and Rap City were more so centered around music videos. And even though we ain't really doing the music videos no more, the Rap City thing, for instance, is more so of a nostalgic thing. Again, bringing back the past, restoring the feeling, you know what I'm saying? Bringing back the basement with the legacy acts and the legend acts, and bringing the new acts there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you can bring the Snoops to the Lil Uzis, to the fucking Dr. Dre's of 50s, to the Lil Babies and the Babies. You know, just bring back that feeling. And then on the new sense, I would call up 50. You know what I'm saying? If I'm Tyler Perry, again, this is, black owned and black collaborations is what's more important than anything. Like, understanding that 50 has a conglomerate going on right now in the TV slash movie industry. Like, he's controlling and taking over the shit. He is the guy. He has the power universe. He's doing it for life. He has the BMF. You know what I'm saying? He has a lot of content that's out now that can be transitioned or transferred to the BET plus streaming platform, and that can help build the audience for that rather than BET plus just solely being Tyler Perry shit. Tyler Perry can actually bring 50 in, and then 50 can bring his power shit into that, and that could bring more attention. And then for the future, knowing the mindset and genes that 50 is, we can see him bring more shit for BET. You know what I'm saying? And then more, even side shit that I would do if I'm Tyler Perry, I would call up like Tiana Teller when it comes to like, choreography and motherfucking musician shit. Like when it comes to BET Awards, make her be the Leanne Gibson of this generation for BET when it comes to like live content. You know what I'm saying? So when we watch the Hip Hop Awards, when we watch the BET Awards, this and that, Tiana can run that, and we can see the effects of her work. These are just things that I feel like can help revamp the channel, and more so like not only bring the nostalgic feeling of what we grew up for BET, but it revamps the channel so it gives it a more mature approach and look to it now. It ain't just like it's like anybody can watch BET. You know what I'm saying? As far as the network, anybody can watch it because we have dope content. We're back on that regard. And then as far as the BET Plus subscription, that can be more in competition to the other subscription channels or premium channels like Disney Plus and etc. Because once they see that more content is available and just doing shit like that and then working with the people, then people will gravitate to BET. You know what I'm saying? And then that would just bring back the feeling of the BET Awards. So you'll start to see more of the notables pull up to those rather than just the Grammys and the AMAs and shit like that. But this is just Los, you know what I'm saying, talking out loud. That's why I got a podcast. But if I was in the room with Tyler Perry, if Tyler Perry was sitting right in front of my face, I would say all that shit to him and more, because those are just the things that I would at least try to do. And again, it's more so the attempt than the execution, because I get things happen, niggas' schedules are not the same, whatever, politics, blah, blah. But if you at least try, then to me, I'm fine with that, because I feel like it's a lot of shit that can happen under BET. Like another example, if I'm Tyler Perry, I'm calling up Nick Cannon. I'm trying to bring back, not even bring back, I'm trying to bring Wildin' Out to BET. Why? Because it's black owned television. And it's black entertainment television. Now, granted, it ain't just all black people on Wildin' Out, but it's a majority of black people on that damn show. You know what I'm saying? So that's just another thing as I'm thinking that I would try to do. I would call up Nick Cannon, and since he has, to my knowledge and the world's knowledge, full ownership of that show, if he does, then he don't have to do anything, but it would be dope to see Wildin' Out on BET. You know what I'm saying? And that would make BET fire to watch. Like, it's just, and then BET, again, call me Tyler Perry, because I'm just thinking of shit that can, like, that just spewing. Like, a BET can call up Deion Sanders, for instance, Prime. You know what I'm saying? They can pull up the HBCUs and they can start doing shit with that. You know what I'm saying? They can go, like, they was doing shit in the past before with HBCU tours and things like that, but they can restore that and do more with that. They can bring, they can use Prime to kind of speak on the HBCU situation, even though he's in Colorado. They can bring current coaches that's in HBCU. Shout out to Mo Williams, that is the Jackson State basketball coach for the men. You know what I'm saying? And Mo Williams is the basketball player that played with the Cavs with LeBron in the '07 finals. So that's just to give you perspective. And Eddie George, who is, to my knowledge, at Savannah State. You know what I'm saying? These are like, it ain't just about Dion just bringing back other black collaborators to speak on this type of information and get it pushed on BET. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, shout out to Tyler Perry, because we are officially a black-owned channel, and that's for the people that are gravitating towards that information and news. You know what I'm saying? And even if you don't gravitate to that or don't give a fuck about it, it's just the part of the potential that the channel can be. Because what we don't want to do is make it feel like how BET was back 20 years ago. Like, you kind of do, but you don't want to repeat and copy and paste the same shit. You want to restore the feeling of the old, but in the same breath, keep the future, or also the present, the present. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get lost in that sauce, because you trying to just keep it nostalgic is going to make it kind of boring, because then you're not going to really have content that's like, digestible. You're just going to be doing shit to try to always restore the feeling, and that's going to also lose a motherfucker too. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Tyler Perry, man, and I just hope we don't see a bunch of Medea now going forward. Niggas bitch about Baby Boy, and shout out to Tyrese, because you top 5 on everything. But niggas bitch about Baby Boy, but I'd rather see that than motherfucking Medea goes to jail or whatever the fuck. Medea goes to Alaska, you know what I mean? But I think that's because we definitely done past the hour mark at this point, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's definitely about it on this pod, which is episode 59. Again, you know what I'm saying? It's been a pleasure, you know what I'm saying? As always, talking to y'all. And last but not least, before I do conclude this episode of For the Love, you know what I'm saying? I want to send my love and prayers and wishes and, you know what I'm saying, condolences to the families out in Richmond, Virginia, from the past shooting that happened back for who got high graduation. You know what I'm saying? And forgive me if I'm pronouncing that school's name wrong, but I do want to send my prayers again to the families of Sean Jackson and his loved ones, and also the other families that was hurt. You know what I'm saying? The shooting that killed the good brother Sean Jackson and his father, who I do not have the name of, so forgive me, but definitely want to send a rest in peace to those good brothers. It is very unfortunate that that young man had to see what was supposed to be the best day or one of the best days of his life become the last day of his life. You know what I'm saying? And for people that don't understand the concept of fighting your conflicts but shooting it out first, you a sucker. You know what I'm saying? There's no deep talk on that shit. I have no paragraph on that. You just a bitch. And it is what it is, unfortunately, because now a family is -2. And now the other side is -1, because of your irrational decisions, your life is going now. You know what I'm saying? So just want to keep it short on that. Virginia has been going through a lot, you know what I'm saying, with the Walmart shooting and then the shooting on campus and then now this and just so much other things. And of course, we understand that shit and bullshit happens everywhere. But coming back to the city and locally speaking, you know what I'm saying? Just want to send prayers to everybody out here, you know what I'm saying? And keep your head up because life goes on and it's no point of letting the past take over your progression. You understand? But last but not least, man, again, just want to thank all, and I mean all my listeners, man. You understand? I want to thank every single one of y'all. And more importantly, for the love ain't going no fucking where. You know what I'm saying? I said it in the start of this video, more so of this pod, that I appreciate y'all patience because it's been, a challenging road, man, but the road will be driven through. You know what I'm saying? And thank the people, in my personal circle and even from the outside for y'all love and wishes for my blessing that I did share earlier in the pod. You know what I'm saying? I'm very, very blessed to the point where I can't even put it into words how blessed I am. You know what I'm saying? And I thank my Lord, man, for even existing and being there for me and keeping me up. You know what I'm saying? And to my loved ones, man, you know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas the greatest. Y'all know who y'all are. And last but not least, man, for episode 59, man, y'all just, again, stay up, man. Mind your business. Wash your ass, drink your aguas, because drinking water is good for you. You understand? If you don't drink water and you don't stretch, but then you get up and say, well, I'm 27 and my back hurt, bitch, because you don't stretch. You understand? You know what I mean? Stop being lazy. You know what I'm saying? Yo, and brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. Cause I'm tired of going outside or wherever and just niggas just talking to you and they breath smell like old Timberlands. You understand? So just brush your fucking teeth. Or if you don't, I might knock you the fuck out because I'm getting tired now. Like you shouldn't be 34 in your breath foul, my nigga. Like, you should be 16 in your breath foul. It's just like, my nigga, if you 16 or if you 36 or whatever the fuck age and your get up is right but your breath not, then you fucked up. Like, and you shouldn't be touching nobody. You understand? Now I'm about to leave before I start getting hot because breath funky niggas is just annoying. You understand? And understand that for the love, we keep it funky, but we don't keep it funky. You understand? I'm gonna let you think about that one. Episode 59. God bless.